What is up, guys? What is up? What is up? How are we doing? It's been a minute. It has been a minute. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I see CJ in the chat. What up, bro? What up? What up? Happy to see you over here, man. Happy to see you. What up, Sai? What up? What up, dude? I'm so happy to see you, Sai, even if you just pop in and pop out. I was bummed. I was thinking, man, it's late. He's probably not going to be in tonight. So I was literally just thinking when I was watching the countdown, I was like, man, I want to try to do like a morning stream tomorrow. Like, I don't know, at some point. Maybe I'll do 10 here to get some of the overseas peeps. You, our friend Maddie, the guys over there. Because like WWE does, we try to go across the pond, right? VPN or not. But what up, guys? Thank you so much. Before we get started, though, that sick little countdown and the new overlay is courtesy of the one and only Sai, the man, the myth, the legend. No myth because he's legit. He's a human being. Whenever they say the myth, I always wonder about that because a myth is, I don't know. I'm not going to get too much into a sidetrack tonight because we have a lot to talk about. It was a fantastic PLE. Get that out of the way. I really enjoyed it. My early grade is probably like a B plus, man. I really enjoyed it. So obviously want to sit here and chat about that. But seriously though, thank you, Si. I appreciate you, man. You're the best. You are the best. And I emailed you, man. Let me see if I can. And CJ, you may be banned because dogs are greater than cats, bro. I'm sorry. Cats are cool. Like they're fine. But like cats, man, like they have a mind of their own. Like they just be like, especially at like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. They're like, yep, this is the perfect time to want to eat, want to climb shit, want to just cry randomly and just like kind of like yelp. I just don't understand. Whereas my dog, Frida, that you see in the intro, that girl, you have to get her out of bed to go outside. She looks at you, especially if it's early in the morning, she's just like, you fucking kidding me? Like, try again in an hour type shit. But no, cats are cool, man. Cats are cool. I get it. But dogs, man, like in dogs, like you can take them places, but dogs are more responsibility. Cats are super independent. You can fucking you can maybe even go out for a night, and not have to worry about, oh shit, I gotta go home with dogs out, I gotta be responsible, this, that, and the third. That cat will take care of itself. So pros and cons, man, with each. But Sai, I want to make you a mod, dude. I was fucking around with YouTube and I need your URL thing, I guess, some shit. But we'll get into that. Yeah, I just gotta I was reading, I see how to do it. I just have to I wonder if I can pull this up. Oh, I think I figured it out. All right, cool. Oh, I see. I knew because I knew your display name was Sai T, so I was low key searching for you, man, and I could not find your channel. But I found you now. Haha. But guys, we are here obviously to talk Crown Jewel. There's a poll in the chat if you're watching on YouTube. Feel free to vote in that. I see we have a thumbs down, so that's interesting. So whoever did the thumbs down, CJ, you're still fresh, man. You're still fresh here. I gotta make sure you're good people, man. Just kidding. No, but I think the show overall was, if I'm WWE, I'm probably kicking myself because I would have wanted Crown Jewel to be my debut on ESPN instead of maybe WrestlePalooza. So I'm sure if they could go back and switch it, maybe they would. Honestly though, I think it's one of those things where, because they didn't go into this show overhyping it, in my opinion. Like the John Cena AJ Styles match, it was properly hyped. The video packages, depending on if you watched the pre-show, which I definitely did not. I was still sleeping, still traveling, all that shit. But if you watched that, I think maybe, I don't know, because I watched a little bit of the highlights kind of in between, and I don't even think they overhyped it there either. I think everything was kind of properly hyped. Even going into it on like the go home shows, I did not see SmackDown. So if they kind of went overboard on SmackDown, I did not see that. So I did see the Aleister Black and Damian Priest match though, and I'm so fucking happy that they are pairing Zelina Vega with Aleister now. Just fantastic. I love the pairing. They look badass already. I'm just bravo. So I'm here for that. um I'm curious as to why now, but I'm very intrigued to see what they end up doing, to see if, because Black is such a great talker, right? Like Zelina is normally, well, not normally, but Zelina, in my opinion, is so good on the mic. She's like a really good manager, like, of course, obviously. Andrade, right? Like when Andrade was still with WWE, people were hoping that they would pair them back up, especially with the proven track record they had at NXT, right? But someone like Andrade would have benefited so much from Zelina. Obviously, there was, I guess, disciplinary things is what is coming out with Andrade, but it doesn't even matter. He's back with AEW now, which is a whole other story. And sometimes shit doesn't work out. Maybe he just wasn't happy there. Maybe he did shit on purpose. Maybe he whatever. I don't know. I'm not here to speculate. That's just what I read, on old Twitterverse. But I think that Zelina and Aleister Black, back to my point with that, it's just going to be very interesting to see who is the heavy hand in that, right? If Aleister still does the talking, is it going to be more Zelina? I don't know. Are they going to be more of a tag team? Is she going to be more of like in a managerial role? I don't know. And it's very interesting to see how many couples and like male and female like couple partners, like real life partners that they have. I saw this graphic on Twitter, and you guys remember the oh my god, the mix challenge. What was it? The mix. I forget the proper name of it, but when they had, it was like that little. I don't even remember if it was like a tournament, but they had like a little series of like it was like Miz and Maurice and shit like that, like teaming with each other. It wasn't even them. I don't know. Maybe I need to find the graphic again. It's been a long day, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? But it's just interesting, like Becky, all the obvious partners, right? Like Becky and Seth, mixed match. I think it was mixed match challenge or some shit like that. And with them having so many platforms and so many mouths to feed, as they say, right? I could see them maybe moving back and doing something like a quick little series like that, like taping a couple matches before, I was gonna say before and after, but mainly before SmackDown or Raw or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of people hated that or shit on it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was something different, and it just, I don't know, it just kind of let the wrestlers like just have like a little bit more fun and be like, it was that vibe where it was like a live show on TV type shit. So I thought I forgot to fill up their water bowl. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. I just saw that graphic and I was like, it'd be interesting if they go back to that. Oh, I forgot to change the batteries in my mouse. But yes, thank you, CJ. Yeah. Yeah, and Bianca and Tez, yeah. Sai say Bianca and Tez must be the only couple they didn't put together yet, but they're wasting time. Dude, I know, man. I will be on this hill. Every time this shit gets brought up, I will stress about it because it's so true, man. I don't know how long I've been saying this shit because they have gold with Bianca and Montez Ford. I don't think they're blind to that. I think they're trying to play the long game and trying to do something or to kind of buy as much time as they can, keeping the Street Profits as a tag team and then pulling the trigger when they can. At least that's I'm trying to play like devil's advocate and trying to give them benefit of the doubt. But if not, if they never do it, that would be absurd. But I'm just afraid they're gonna get to a point where it's like you not that they, didn't strike when the iron is hot type shit, but it just won't be as impactful as maybe it could have if they did it earlier. But with prime example with the Street Profits not winning the tag team championships again, it makes you wonder, are they moving towards a breakup? Because they had been showing dissension between them, so but then they worked it out, but now they lost again. So it does make you wonder, are we getting closer to that? And man, I fucking hope so, because and I guess it does depend, obviously, right? The other half there is Bianca. She had a pretty gnarly finger injury. I forget what finger it was, but some shit where like they were concerned she wouldn't be able to like even use it properly, like for the rest of her life type shit. Like she had to get some type of surgery or they were afraid she was gonna have to get like additional surgery. I don't know, some type of shit like that. But I just remember thinking like, damn, like that's pretty gnarly, man. So obviously you need her there to make that power couple effective. So depending on when she's coming back, I would imagine it's got to be soon, unless it's much worse than even they thought midway through. So we'll see, because she's been out for some shit now. So we'll see. And we haven't really heard from her since they were in Tennessee. Obviously, that's her home state. So, and they did that shit with Naomi. Oh man, miss Naomi. But yeah, so God, I see it. I can picture it. Montez holding the World Heavyweight Championship, wearing a crown with Bianca right there, the Women's World Heavyweight Championship on her shoulder, spotlight on them, entire arena black on Monday Night Raw, opening the show, just fucking standing there and just absorb what I'm hoping, just absorbing all the boos, all the hatred, because I think to be like truly like to get the most out of it as they can, they should start off being in like just a hated heel. And I know it's very hard nowadays, especially with them. Maybe is I don't know, because I was gonna say maybe with Bianca is, but I don't want that to sound one way. But like we had seen going into WrestleMania, I believe it was, the fans were more inclined to boo her, and as opposed to Io, for instance, right? Whereas Montez has pretty consistently gotten cheers. Now, completely different scenarios, right? Completely different platforms. Like Bianca's already main evented, already won the top championship in her division, shit like that. Whereas Montez is still in the tag team realm. But man, like if you find the right situation, the right opponent, I feel like they can really just maybe it could be like them turning out, or like I don't know, feuding with like a CM Punk and AJ Lee type thing. I don't know, like just you need to find that perfect pair and that perfect partner, dance partner as they say, to make it work and to be as effective as possible, and then kind of run the gamut, right? Like have them be badass heels, and generate as much as possible, and then pull the trigger when needed. Because with every great heel, right, they end up getting to the point where they get cheered. So once you get to that point, I just think he can end up Montez, and they both really could end up being the face of the company. I know it might sound crazy, but I just feel very strongly about it, and I always have. Like, it's just something about him. Like, he is just so fucking charismatic, man. Like, he makes it look so easy. He just seems like that guy where if you walked into a crowded room and you knew absolutely no one, like you could walk up to him and be like, hey, like if you had a question, be like, hey, like, do you know where such and such is? He would be that guy to help you out and not to just leave you hanging and like kind of make small talk with you. And I don't know, just kind of make you feel comfortable. Again, I could be completely wrong. He could be like the biggest asshole and whatever, but I doubt that. I doubt that. And Bianca just seems so nice too. Like, kind of like exactly what I said about Montez. Like, I don't know, man. And in the same token, too, and then I'll get off this. See, Sai, you fucking got me going, man. But in the same token, too, with Bianca, like I don't know, man. Like Bianca, she just feels like a star, just like Montez, man. Like they already had their reality TV show. I feel like they could be like Miz and Maurice, and it always did surprise me where, especially when Miz got to be a little bit more in the main event scene, that Maurice wasn't there with him as like a manager or whatever. I kind of respect that too. Shit, and Maurice is out there living her best life, and the Miz, man, fucking God bless him, because such a smart man. Shout out to Canada Dry. We're gonna get their partnership one day, their sponsorship. But yeah, man. So Sai, you had me on that hill, on that soapbox, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, there's that. Sorry. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. A lot of people watching over on Twitter. Again, it always surprises me, man. Always surprises me. I guess Twitter is just easier to watch over on Twitter. So that's cool. I appreciate it. I appreciate wherever you watch. But again, Crown Jewel, like I said earlier, I think was a very good show. Let me know. I see you guys are kind of just chatting in there already. Someone go through. What? CJ, you said Montez will never be world champion? What? Wow. Why do you think that? Nothing personal against Montez. I also bet. And then CJ said, I also bet Chelsea Green will never hold a world champ. Nah. I gotta disagree with you on both there, dude. Especially on Montez. I can very easily see him winning Money in the Bank one year and then cashing in and successfully cashing in. I totally see it. Totally see it. When you said Finn and Bailey for the mixed match, yeah, that'd be a good pairing. But I don't. They have to make that one make sense, at least storyline wise. But yeah, I really like the colors in this overlay side. You did fantastic, man. I'm gonna probably use this one a lot. They admit, all right, dude. All right, CJ. You say I'm gonna put this on there so we can go back to it in the future. CJ, you said they are mid carders at best. All right, dude. I'm gonna hold you to that. So we can even put a time frame on it. I will say within the next. I'll say within the next 2 years. So by the end, so just go. Then the year from here on out. From at this point, what's today? October 11th, 2025. From here to October 11th, 2027. If they have and maybe 2 years sounds a bit long, but it's really not, and I'll explain in a second. I would put money that Montez will be a world heavyweight champion. Whether it's the route of cashing in Money in the Bank or whatever, however he gets there, I'd put money on it, dude. I'd put money on him being world heavyweight champion, possibly even winning the Rumble. Maybe going like a Jey Uso route, but I don't necessarily see the Rumble. I see him more of a Money in the Bank winner type because he's just so fucking like the shit that he does, like moves, like he's just fantastic. And especially in ladder matches, he's one of those guys where he just like he has the size to not need to be, or you wouldn't expect him to be like a high flyer or anything like that. But dude is fucking just agile as shit, and the height that he gets with those frog splashes, it's just insane. So I don't know, man. I disagree with you on that. So we'll see. Oh no, dude. It actually works out that you did it because now I can use it going forward, and it doesn't have to just be for Crown Jewel. Don't call yourself that. You're not dumb, bro. You're fucking talented as shit, dude. Yeah, CJ, that's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong, and he ends up being burnout and just stays in mid card land only. And there's nothing wrong with that, there's nothing wrong with that at all. He can make a solid to even great career just being in the mid to upper, like flirt with the main event type shit, but never win the big one. There's nothing wrong with that. It's probably annoying, right? But there's been a lot of greats who never won the big one. So there's nothing wrong with that. I just, man, in my heart, man, obviously, talked about it for how many minutes now? I just believe that he will become heavyweight champion one day. And I can almost envision him winning Money in the Bank and going from there. I don't see him necessarily cashing in at like WrestleMania or anything like that, but maybe like a SummerSlam or some shit. So we'll see. We'll see, but we'll come back to this. We'll come back. Yes, for everyone sitting here thinking like, God damn, just get to Crown Jewel. You can blame Sai. Blame Sai. But yeah, so we'll get to Crown Jewel now. But I want to show this visual. Well, I'll wait. Because you know me, obviously. If you guys are new here, then I apologize. I am very random. Oh my god, this screen is so bright. Or this website is so bright. And I tend to go off on sidetracks, so there's that. I do my best not to, but I can't help it. Dude, I really hope my mouse doesn't die. That would suck. I gotta remind myself to change the batteries after this. But what did you guys think of the crowd, too, by the way? What up, Jerry? What up? What up? You said I enjoyed Crown Jewel. I love the little emojis. Except the last 5 minutes of Cody versus Seth. Okay. Was it because of the way it ended? almost said the ring, but the watch in that route, or what exactly did you not like about the last 5 minutos? Minutos. But I appreciate you popping in, Jerry. But yes, of course, they were in Perth, Australia. They had a very long intro video package where it was Rhea Ripley talking about like, can you hear it? I thought it was a very well put together video, right? Like, I mean, it goes without saying, right? At this point, WWE's production is just fantastic. But I feel like it was a little bit too long, and it's like, okay, like, we get it, like, I can hear it. Shit, I can hear it. Yeah, I can. So I just kind of wanted to get to it. Especially because it was so early too. You know what I mean? It was just like, let's get let's get going. But I will say, not only with the production of the video, but again, I was kind of dumb to say, like, you know, I'm happy they chose Rhea. It's pretty obvious why they did. But I feel like this is a video package that can take out the part where she specified Australia, but they can use this video package going forward. Because obviously they spotlighted the world, right? All the fans all across the globe. So I just thought it was really well done, but I like that they used Rhea because she just felt like a star, dude. Whereas a little bit later on in the show when she came out, we'll obviously get to that, but I felt a little bit different, but it was pretty obvious why. Um but she's just a star, dude, and she just had a birthday maybe yesterday or the day before. She's 29 years old. Insane. Like, it's just insane. She's so young, but she is already, I don't want to say one of the faces of the company, right? But damn, like, she's up there. She's probably like top 5, like, especially reaction wise, consistently. It doesn't matter where they are. Obviously, you know, Australia, where you're from, you know, you're gonna get a little bit extra. But dude, like, anywhere, anywhere. She, especially if it's a surprise, like, people are just so fucking happy to see her, and it's amazing. And like I said before, like, she is such a nice human, you know what I mean? And it really, it makes you even happier. So shout out to her. And it just makes you very hopeful too that they continue to view her as a main event star and a potential face of the company, like they did with Becky Lynch, you know, back in what, 2019, 2020, when she was the man, you know, like, or I guess 2018, 2019, more specifically. Um, where she was the face of the company. She was, you know, she was the man, you know, like, she was the one going out there and doing like the main, of course they all did, right? But, well, not they all did, but a lot of the big stars did interviews and shit like that leading up to Mania, but she was a big deal. And I feel like they can get there with Rhea too. So I don't know. The video package just really stood out to me, besides the fact that, yeah, I heard it. Let's chop chop. But well done. I was happy that they opened with Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns. It was interesting though, because I was expecting Reed to get a much stronger reaction, but as excuse me, as the match started, I was like, I kind of dig it. I kind of dig that they showed respect to him, right? You know, being, you know, he's from there, right? Obviously, but I like that the fans kind of went along with how we're supposed to cheer, you know, and didn't really like either turn the page and like try to make it about themselves, or just cheer the bad guy just because he's from there. And I like that they just kind of like stayed with the story, and just really added to every part that it needed to, in my opinion. And I think they did that throughout the night. So props to them. Really quick though. CJ, you said you didn't watch? You didn't watch, dude? Oh wow. If you didn't watch, I appreciate you at least popping in and listening to me talk about it. But really quick though, before I move on, I don't think I would have forgotten about it, but I just want to say now in case I do, because obviously, you know, I get sidetracked. When because I didn't watch the pre-show, right? Until the show got started, I went back and watched some clips. That audience, it looked like the Warriors. I don't know if you don't watch NBA. The NBA team, Golden State Warriors, one of their colors is yellow. It looked like it was a home game for them where they give out the free t-shirts and shit and encourage people to wear them. So, and I always hate when people don't wear it. It's like, bro, like you have like a sea of yellow, and then there's always like that random 1, 2, 3 like splotches of people where you'll see like a black or like a red. And it's like, come on, bro. Unless you're like, on the other team, which obviously, or you support the other team, I get that then. But if it's like, like you're there to support the home team, fucking wear their shirt. Blend in. It's for the visual, right? Like, come on now, you have one job. And that's what it looked like, I want to say tonight, but this morning, it looked like it was a home team for Cena, dude. It was just like a sea of yellow. It had to be, I think they said they had, what, like 13,000? I think, yeah, 13,683 people. I'd say at least like 6,000 of them motherfuckers had yellow shirts, if not more. Not in, I want to say not consistently, but it was like a nice section and just chunks of just yellow. And I just thought it was really cool. Really cool. And it makes me wonder what they're going to end up doing with Cena. And I'm trying not to get sidetracked, so I'm going to talk about Cena and the tickets and shit like that when we get to that match. But I wanted to talk about that now, talking about the environment and everything like that. In the fans. Because I just thought that was a really cool visual. Really cool. It makes me, like, doesn't really make me wonder because, they're going to be in DC, red, white, and blue and all that shit. So it's probably going to be red shirts, unless they do blue. Or unless they do it'd be cool if they did like a tie-dye shirt, which I guess that wouldn't come across as striking on TV, like in solidarity, but a really cool like tie-dye, like red, white, and blue John Cena shirt would be badass. Yeah, so just I think they have so many opportunities. That should I'm gonna try to save myself because they have so many opportunities with that show and they're already taking advantage of it. So like I said, definitely gonna get to that because some of the ticket options are out there and it's quite insane. But getting back to the first match, like I was saying with Bronson Reed and the fans and all that shit, props to them. Props to the Australian folk out there for playing along and sticking to the script, booing the bad guys and cheering the good guys. The reaction for Roman Reigns, insane. Like, for whatever reason, his entrance this morning, and if I say tonight, forgive me, but his entrance this morning and just the reaction and like those motherfuckers out there were holding the ones up the entire time. His entire entrance. It was just so cool. Like, I don't know why, but it just hit me different. And it just made me feel like, damn, like, because I was kind of getting to the point where I was like, like, I'm kind of tired of Roman coming and going, you know what I mean? And like coming back from one big match and then leaving for 6 months and then coming back from one big match, having another injury angle. And then, like just come back for at least a few months, at least like 2-3 months, not saying to be there every week, but at least like a couple times a month, you know what I mean? You can space it out depending on what the story is. And obviously since they're getting back into the bloodline angle, you have a little bit more flexibility with that. But I don't know. I was kind of just get to the point where it's either like be back for at least a little bit, dude, or like, like I don't want to say like I don't, like don't come back because it's dramatic, but I don't know. I was just kind of getting to that point. But for whatever reason this morning, man, like it really between his entrance for whatever reason and then how the match ended up playing out, it got me. So they got me sucked back into the Roman storyline, the bloodline storyline, and all that stuff. And with the different angles that they're taking it too. With the winner of the match, though, obviously we know who that was, unless you didn't watch the show, and I'm sure you've heard of it by now. But Bronson Reed did pick up the victory with, I was going into this match. Obviously, I didn't get to do a preview show. Thank you, Sai, for your recommendation, by the way, for the laptop. Appreciate it because I tried. Man, I was so pissed because I brought my iPad and there's no app for StreamYard on the iPad, so I went to just the website. But the camera, it was just like you had to turn it for it to be the full screen, but then it had me like all the way into the side, and it was just bothering me. So it's like I can't do this shit. So yeah, so I want to get something like that. So if we want to have to travel or something like that, a laptop, I could stream more because I was like, kind of like itching not being able to do the preview show. I was like, damn man, because I really wanted to talk about it. But I really dig the fact that they had Bronson Reed win here. I was at the point too with Reed and the Vision as a whole. They need victories. I mean, like they can't just be all talk. You can't just have Heyman. Yes, he's fantastic. Obviously, he's Paul Heyman, but you can't just have him consistently go out there and just talk, hype them up, say future main eventers, all this good shit, and then they consistently lose. You know, like they lose the big matches, especially tag team matches. Like there's I don't know. Like there's I don't want to say no reason why I get certain situations, but you can't be scared to have the bad guys win, you know? Like especially if they do some shady shit to win. That's the whole point. And that's where your commentators come in and especially like your Michael Cole, it need to be like, oh, that piece of trash, Bronson Reed, like, you know, like he did this, and this. I can call him out and say, like, he took the cheap way to win, all this stuff. And like, how can he be a main eventer if you can't win the right way? Like all this shit. Not like, oh, like, you know, that was pretty smart, you know, like, oh, like he got the better, you know, like I don't know, just you need to I miss I miss the days where JR like hate it. You remember the hatred that JR had for Triple H back in the day? And again, different times, obviously, and I'm not one to really compare, but I do miss stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie. Like I miss just the commentators having so much either love or hatred for the good guys or the bad guys, depending on, you know, who it is. And Triple H was, you know, like a special bad guy. You know, a lot of people don't I think Triple H was much better than a lot of people give him credit for in that role. And that's obviously a topic for a different day. But man, like JR would always there's like a video clip that goes out, you know, like kind of gets floated around from time to time. It's like a minute or 2 minutes of just the best like JR lines, like just him shitting on Triple H. So just stuff like that. And I don't know. I just miss that because I really feel like it adds to the wrestlers' characters and it really helps them out because you only get but so much TV or PLE time, right? Like and a lot of times you either get one or the other. You won't get a promo segment and a match. So having the match and having a commentator really like put you over one way or another really helps out. So I just kind of miss shit like that sometimes. But my thoughts on that. CJ, I'm gonna go back and read your comments about Bailey, dude. Is that why? Is that why you didn't watch the PLE because Bailey wasn't on it? Is that your stance? You don't watch shit that Bailey's not on? Let me know, man. And I see you. I don't know if that's a new avatar. I can't really see. Let me go back. Where are you at? I'm gonna put this coming up there. That's you? Yeah, that's you, man. When you met Bailey, that's dope. It's a nice picture, bro. You said I will not support WWE. Why they keep disrespecting Bailey? How are they disrespecting her though? Because they didn't put her on the PLE. So yes, that's why. And you said I love Wade Barrett on commentary 2 weeks ago. Him defending Bailey. He said he was disappointed in Lyra, which, bro, you cracked me up. No, that's true though. That's true. But I'll get to your comments on Bailey because you know me. I'll get sidetracked and we'll never get through the first match. But excuse me. But I forget where I was at. But back to Reed winning though. I think that they absolutely needed to pull the trigger on that's kind of where I was at with Reed winning here. And it was the proper setting too. Like it's his home state. It's his home country, right? It was an Australian street fight. So not that that really matters too much because like I said, the fans did their job and cheered the right guys there. But I feel like that really kind of added to it, right? And it was, you know, something cool for him because he really had like a string of bad luck. Like I think at least what was the Elimination Chamber when they were in Australia and he couldn't make the show? I think was he hurt? I think there was one time maybe he was hurt, and then one time I think maybe his wife was giving birth or some shit like that. Like I don't, it was something why he couldn't make the trip. And that sucks because he was in WWE and then he left in his New Japan days, right? And I think it's really cool. Well, I can say it now. Yeah, I think it's really cool that he has, and maybe the only guy out there, the stat of pinning Okada and Roman Reigns. That's pretty cool. Um, that was, I think, the last thing he did in New Japan before he left, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the last things. I could be wrong on that. Um, but he kind of had like a little bit of a rough start, you know what I mean, with the injury and like that gnarly foot injury that he had apparently, just being out from what was it, the last War Games when he jumped off the top of the cage. So seeing him being able to come back and get that victory in his home country, like I'm I'm that person where it's like, yeah, like cool, like don't go out there and like deliberately disrespect someone because like they did to JR in Oklahoma all that time. Speaking of JR, but if it makes sense for the story, yeah, give them the W in their home country and make it a big deal, But don't just put the title on them just because, oh yeah, here they were born here, so it'll be a cool moment where that's nice and everything. But I just feel like there's been times, and I'm not gonna, I know not to shit on AEW, but there's been times where they pull the trigger just because of where they're at. And it just didn't make sense storyline wise. So, and WWE, but WWE normally doesn't give a shit or has been known to not give a shit and actually do the exact opposite. They're like, oh yeah, you're from here, fuck you, you're gonna lose type shit. So I think that was really cool for him just personally. Made me happy for him. But storyline wise too, and character wise, like he fucking needed it. Like he needed to go out there and win. And yes, they had the built-in story and the built-in kind of crutch there where Jay ended up spearing Roman through the table, led to the tsunami splash. So they do have that. But I like that it was just one tsunami and that was it. You got the job done with that. And it was his finishing move. It puts over the tsunami. It's not like Jay speared Roman and then Bronson went right for the pin. No, like he still hit his finisher. Like, yeah, like he still was pretty much already down at that point to get to the finisher spot. But I still like when, if you're gonna get a shiesty win, you at least hit your finisher one more time. You know what I mean? Or at least you hit your finisher. Period. To at least be like, well, no, I want my finisher. So at least you have some type of like saving grace. Even if you're the heel, like you at least have that. But and then Roman has the point too, where obviously I liked where they showed Roman kind of, I don't want to say shit talking, but pissed off at Jay and telling them, like what do you say? Like I don't want to see you until Christmas or like until after Christmas or some shit like that. And then he said something where he was like, not like these people don't think I can do it on my own or something to that. I wonder if it's written down here. But I love the little things like that. I love this side of Roman that we have had with, the tribal chief and that version of him that we've had for a few years now. God, I guess like 5 years now, which is crazy to say. What he does in the ring, like talking off the mic, talking to the fans when he was a bad guy, like shit talking his opponent and just things like that. I love. Yeah, here we go. So shout out to Jason Powell at ProWrestling.net for the breakdown. He goes, Reigns and the Usos sat up in the ring. Reigns scolded the Usos for helping him. Quote, the whole world, that's what it was. The whole world thinks I can't do shit on my own, Reigns said. Reigns said he told them he had to do it on his own. This only works one way, he said. This only works when we win. I love that. I love that, man. I love that. He said he loves the Usos, but he didn't want to see them until Christmas, so no Thanksgiving. I mean, shit, saves me some money traveling then. I don't know how close they live together, but fuck, be like, all right, bro, you don't want to see me? I'll keep my ass at home. Save me some money flying, traveling, all that shit. Because they got to go to the big dog's house. You know what I mean? Like, ain't no fucking way. They're like, oh yeah, whose turn is it this year to host? Nah, you know those motherfuckers go to Roman Reigns' house, period. So if I'm Jay, if I'm Jimmy, especially if I'm Jimmy, yo, shit, I'm gonna go home and chill with Naomi. You know what I mean? Like now they can Netflix and chill, no concerns. So I'm like, fuck it. All right, bro, I'll stay home. Don't threaten me with a good time. So yeah, whatever. Nah, I'd have been like, fuck it. You say Christmas? Why don't we do New Year's? Because then I can save some money on Christmas too. Shit, because and Roman's got what, 5 kids, 2 sets of twins, and another kid, bro. You know you gotta get them motherfuckers like electronics and shit. You just can't go over there with like no Five Below type shit. You gotta go big. It's the big dog's kids. So I'd be like, if I'm Jay, you know what? No, fuck you. I'm not gonna see you till New Year's. Start the new year off right. You know what I mean? We start fresh next year. Shit, we'll up the ante. That'd be me. I wonder how close they do to live together. Unless it'd be some shit if they're like in the same neighborhood. But Reigns, continuing on. Reigns slowly left the ring while Lusos could be heard saying they were trying to help. Jay was upset and said he always do him. Jay told Jimmy that he was out and then left him behind in the ring. Jay told Jimmy from the floor that Reigns is always going to do him and said he was out too. And then Jay headed to the back by himself. So yeah, I love that little ending piece there. I love, again, shit like that. I is what I'm here for. I probably love more than anything. um, but I hope, again, like I hope it's not something where we're not going to see Roman for months. I hope that's not a sign where we're not going to see him until maybe around Survivor Series or after Survivor Series, or maybe like around Christmas time because I don't know, man. Like I was saying, like I just like I want to like be back, especially since he's already done his filming, right? Like I'm pretty certain he's wrapped up. Why not, bro? And so you said they didn't have to give Roman a read. That's a huge win, and they made a big deal about him being only the second to pin. Yeah, that's right. Only the second to pin Roman in years. Feels like they're putting a rocket on him. Yeah, dude. And what Heyman said later on, where essentially like now like pretty much like we have to look out for Bronson Reed too. Like he's like a future main eventer now as well, or some shit like that. But I think they said like he's only the second dude in like 5 years or some shit that's pinned Roman Reigns in a singles match. So that is big. Yo, yeah, you said the same shit. Yeah, not until Christmas means no Survivor Series War Games for Roman either. Yeah, dude, and I hope that's not the case, man. I hope that's not the case because it's just annoying. It's just annoying. But moving on. Oh, and they made a huge deal. I meant to talk about that too. At the beginning of the show with the championships, pretty much showing the Crown Jewel championships, which those things are fucking massive. Like, golly, they're beautiful though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I really think it's a beautiful championship. They're massive though, just fucking massive. But they put together this video package of them transporting it from Saudi Arabia over to Perth, which I thought was kind of cool. it was it was so absurd, like it was almost like laughable, which is what kind of why I enjoyed it even more. And I think and I hope that they did it kind of like tongue in cheek ish, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, so they had video packages for the championships making their way over to Perth, which brought us into match number 2. WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton facing off against Stephanie Vaquer, who is of course the WWE Women's World Heavyweight World Heavyweight Champion, for the Crown Jewel Championship. We had Alicia Taylor there, which I thought was pretty cool. Fucking love her hair, just awesome. And she's just fantastic. Man, I really hope that they start using her a bit more because she's just fantastic. But this match though, I thought it I was pleasantly surprised, I'm not gonna lie. I think it really showcased Stephanie is so good in the ring, and she is getting like she can very quickly become like that ring general type, where that person who can really like control and like carry the match. But Tiffany, man, like I really think Tiffany went out there and kind of proved her point too. Like I'm not gonna say it was like a fantastic match or anything like that, but bro, I thought it was a really good match. Like I was really enjoying it. I think it went like 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Let me see if they have it written down here. Yeah, it's 10 minutes. Okay, yeah. So I think that I could have gone a few more minutes, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have mind that at all. But I was really intrigued to see who they were gonna have win here. But I am gonna say I'm kind of surprised that they had Stephanie Vaquer win. I think that that really shows the confidence they have in her. And it gives me a good feeling, right? Like if you've listened to me before, I was kind of on the track where maybe play like a little bit of the long game with Stephanie, maybe have her win her first title next year at Mania. But shit, if they're gonna go with her, like really go with her, and they are. So I'm happy about that. Props to them for that. You know, credit where credit is due. I think it was a little bit much, like the the aftermath with Triple H and Stephanie, like him like doing like the head to head thing. It's like it was just a little much. Like you would have thought like she just won a WrestleMania type shit, but I think it's more of a symbolism, just like he's proud of her, the hard like all the hard work she's put into getting to that point. So I you know, I get I get it, but it just kind of seemed like a little much. And I was like, okay, so if you're gonna do all this with Stephanie, you better do the same with the men, right? You better do head to head with Seth or Cody. So yeah, it just, you know, it is what it is. But I'm happy that they gave her a little bit of an opportunity to say thanks as well. And it's so cute listening to her on the mic. Like she like bless her, like she's learning. She's learning her English um very quickly. So props to her. And she's making improvements there. So I'm very surprised that they are really focusing on her and really staying on track with her and not being like, okay, like, yeah, like we had her win the championship, but we're not going to have her beat Tiffany quite yet. You know, like Tiffany, when we talk about like main roster wise, you know, is a little bit more established. So we're going to go with her. But no, they had a good match, a good back and forth match, and Stephanie won. So props to them for that. And it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with Stephanie going forward, though. Like that was my other concern with like, okay, like you have her win the championship, so who is she really going to face off against? So we'll see. We'll see. But I do like the fact that they get rings now. I know, not to jump the gun, but I know Cody's probably pissed because you know Cody loves his rings. But that ring was fucking massive. But that's cool. That's really cool. It looks like it's something that they can keep. Personally, you know, not like the championship, like you. And I heard some people like kind of like shit on the whole crown jewel championship concept itself. And to me, like I don't really get that hung up on this. I get it. I totally get it. But for me, it's not like they're going to be walking out with the championships like each week or anything like that, or defending it or anything like that. To me, it's kind of like credit where credit's due, kind of like the Owen Hart tournament when you think about it with AEW, where of course it's not a tournament, right? But you you either win the or get to a point and you win the tournament as a whole, or you just win the match if you're in WWE. It's like a obviously the champion versus championship match. You kind of almost like the Stanley Cup, so like you win, or in like any sports championship, right? Like you win it, you celebrate with it for the night, maybe for the week, you go around with the parade, all that shit. And then the company holds on to it until the next year. So for me, it's just kind of similar to that. So I don't really, and I don't believe like when they showed, for instance, like the stats for like the matches, you know, like the rundown of the matches, or the rundown of the matches, like the match card, the stats for the main event that they had for Seth and Cody, they had how many championships they won. And Seth's, I forget the total he had, but it had the asterisk, and at the bottom it stated like includes NXT championship. So I don't think, like, for instance, that statistic includes like the Crown Jewel championship. So it'd be interesting to see if it does, but I highly doubt it. So for me, I'm not really like harping on like, oh, it's another championship or anything like that. Like, is it necessary? No. I feel like it's like they could very easily have made Crown Jewel Night of Champions and just gone back to that format. But at least there is something that they're fighting for. And this year they had the excuse me, the backstory with Seth and Cody. So there's that. But what was it last year with Cody and Gunther? It was just to pretty much see who the better champion was. So at least there is something for them to kind of fight for. So there's that. So I'm not really as down on that as I saw some other people. But again, I get why you may not like it. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, but then they had the backstage segment with Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman, and Bronson Reed. Paul Heyman entered the room and congratulated. Let me move that because these ads are crazy. And congratulated Reed. He mentioned the possibility of Seth motioning for the three of them to come out and to help them. Heyman indicated that they should not help. Heyman also said said they would find out whether Rollins or Cody Rhodes is better. He stepped aside. Breaker asked Reed what would happen if Cody won. Heyman returned and said he thinks they know what would happen. And I think, not for nothing, I think Braun Breaker, just like his facial reactions here and like that side eye that he gave when Heyman walked away. I don't know, he just kind of stood out to me there. And side note though, on his singlet, the word badass, like it just annoys me. Like I don't know why, but just seeing the word on there just kind of annoys me. Like I feel like it's one of those like unspoken things, like, yeah, like you're a badass. Like, I don't know. It doesn't need to be written on your singlet type shit. I don't know. Just I don't know why it bugs me. I don't know why I just thought about it now. But moving on, we had what many people, and probably myself included, would think is the match of the night, just from what I saw scrolling on Twitter, and that is John Cena versus AJ Styles. The man, the atmosphere, of course, the introductions we'll get to in a second. But again, just the sea of yellow was just so cool to see. No pun intended there. But you could really tell that it meant a lot to Cena too. Like when he came out and he was just like, wow, like it's like you could tell like it really stood out to him. So props to Australia again for honing in and understanding the assignment there. And I hope more fans do that as well. Like I hope they like fuck it. Like we have 4 appearances left for Cena, which is crazy. So I hope we kind of see a visual like that, which is really cool. But of course they each came out. AJ came out in his retro TNA gear, the shorts, which I thought was really cool. But I probably one of my favorite moments from their whole segment, if you want to call it that, was the gesture that Cena gave. And I don't know if someone else wrote it or if he wrote it himself. I like to think that Cena wrote it himself, but you could tell it was just like on a little like one of those little notepad pieces of paper. He wrote an introduction for AJ Styles because Cena has his 17 goat, all that shit, his introduction, but he gave Alicia Taylor a little note, and it was like a little piece of paper, and I think we have it. Yeah, again, shout out to Jason Powell at ProWrestling.net. But I feel like it's something that Cena wrote, or if it's not something that Cena wrote, he told someone to be like, look, like, kind of long story short, the greatness of AJ Styles and a little introduction here. And that's what they did. And in my opinion, it didn't seem like AJ was expecting that. So I feel like that, in my opinion, made it even cooler. If he did, okay. But regardless, I really thought it was a cool moment and so classy of Cena too. Like man, like, for whatever reason, like, you can tell that the little quote unquote rivalry that Cena and AJ have had, like, Cena respects the hell out of AJ Styles. So it was just cool to see. But Alicia read the note and it said the quote, the definition of total nonstop action, the ace and the undisputed boss of the Bullet Club. It is an honor as fans and my honor as an opponent to see if he can beat up John Cena one final time. He is the face that runs the place, the phenomenal AJ Styles. And that was just so fantastic. Like, long story short, just awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Again, I don't know if Cena wrote it himself. If he did, props to him. Even if he asked someone to do it, props to him. It just feels like something that Cena probably thought of. So, touche to Cena, you know. It just, between that, the match itself being essentially, you know, like I saw someone else on Twitter reference it, a love letter to their greatest opponents, right? It was just so well done. And if you're not one of those fans who likes the use of finishers, I can see why you probably didn't like this one. But for me, like, I've always been that one where, like, it didn't necessarily bother me if, like, for instance, like, if Cena were to hit the Styles Clash on AJ Styles, right? And didn't get the 1, 2, 3. To me, as a fan, I justify that as, well, of course Cena didn't get the 1, 2, 3 using someone else's move because he doesn't hit it like AJ Styles hits it, right? So if AJ Styles hits it, you expect the 1, 2, 3, and that's why when someone kicks out at 2, that's why it's a big deal because AJ is the perfectionist, like he is the master of that move. You know, it goes for everyone in their finisher, right? That's why I like when someone creates their own finisher because they master it, right? So that's kind of where I come from as a fan. It's like, of course, you know, you would expect them, or it would make more sense why they wouldn't get the 1, 2, 3 hitting an RKO or hitting, no, unless it's like the tombstone, which we'll get to, right? Or something, you know, like an RKO or what the super kick or whatever, you know, sweet chin music. You would expect them not to get the 1, 2, 3 because they're not Shawn Michaels, they're not Randy Orton. You know what I mean, bro? I think I put it as the thumbnail. Now I can show it. I think my mouse is gonna die. At one point, talking about finishers and paying homage, I just thought, you talk about classy, dude. At one point, John Cena hit Sister Abigail, and look. Right after it, the fans, again, shout out to Australia. I know I disappeared for a second. I'll be right back. The fans, man, just fucking lit up with the fireflies, bro. Just lit up their cell phones, and it was just a fantastic visual. And you can see how much it really meant to Cena because obviously, you know, like Cena, that was something spur of the moment. It was just beautiful, beautiful. Even before Cena hit the Sister Abigail, you know, he gave the kiss to the forehead to AJ just like Bray would do. So shout out to John, man. He really, say what you want, you know, about him, you know, being particular. Does he, you know, advocate for certain things? Does he not? Whatever. Shit like this though is just really cool. And of course, like I said, the fans really made this moment just even next level by doing the fireflies. And then at one point they were even singing he's got the whole world in his hands type shit. So very cool moment. And again, just shout out to Australia, man. They were one of the MVPs for the night. So props to them. And props to John Cena for including the Sister Abigail. I thought that was really cool. Of course, maybe some people thought AJ Styles would pick up the victory here, but John Cena ended up picking up the 1, 2, 3. They hit just so many different finishers. Miz was in there, his finisher. Skull crushing finale was in there at one point. Rusev's move was in there. That I think there. What was the other one that really stood out? Oh yeah, the Walls of Jericho. That's what it was. With Y2J chants breaking out. And again, speaking of chants, the media scrum, after show, press conference, whatever you want to call it, they had Triple H was at the panel. I forget who else was on there. It was like Big E, Peter Rosenberg, and a couple other people. The fans, because they were still in the arena, I believe, or like right maybe outside of it, and like they had to still be in the arena, but they started chanting, "We want Edge." So between that and then they started singing his entrance song, Metalingus. I was like, well done, guys, well done. But I don't know the contract status for Edge. I don't know if he's a free agent now. If he is, they gotta do it. They gotta do it. Like, if you don't at this point, then shame. Shame on you. But if he is available, and man, if I'm WWE and he's still in contract with AEW, I would greatly think about reaching out to Tony Khan. I know it's gonna be ironic and you'll probably get the doors slammed in your face type shit, but I would at least reach out to say you did and to say you tried and be like, look, I know, we both done some shit. Probably us more so than you. You know what I mean? um, this isn't about us, it's about wrestling. And us being companies, right? Like, not personally. This isn't about like AEW versus WWE or WWE versus AEW or, like, we're bigger than you type shit. Just do it for wrestling, and just allow, whether you want to do a trade like they did back in the day with TNA, right? I think it was Ric Flair for the Hall of Fame. Excuse me. What didn't they trade for Christian Cage? I think it was. I remember listening to, I don't know if it was Bruce Pritchard's podcast, but it was some podcast where it had to be Bruce Pritchard's, where they were like, he was like, TNA could ask for anyone that they could ask for John Cena, anyone. I mean, they would have said no, but they at least could have asked. And they asked for Christian Cage. Like, Dixie Carter asked for Christian Cage. No disrespect, but it was just like, wow, like, you could ask for anyone. And she just really loved Christian. So do something like that, if you're WWE, like, see, at least try, at least try. You only have 4 dates left. It's a long shot. It's probably going to be a no. Like I said, it's the type of situation where the door will be shut in your face type shit. But at least try and see what they say, see what Tony Khan says, like, worst thing you can do is slam the door in your face, slam, hang up on you type shit. Slam the laptop lid if it's a Zoom call. Or he could be like, all right, like, we'll do like a small trade, like, we'll send over Edge and you send over whomever, like, it wouldn't be fucking crazy if like they did a trade and it was like, all right, we'll send over Edge for this big moment, right? This big match, but you got to send over Seth Rollins to go like Seth Rollins versus John Moxley type shit, like Tyler Black versus like John, like, I guess it would be Jonathan Good, his old, his name, but John Moxley, like, that would just be sick. That, like, that would never happen. I highly doubt WWE would send over Seth Rollins, especially with him being the heavyweight champion. But like, like, it'd be fun to sit there and speculate, right? To see, like, and to really think, like, okay, like, who would it be? Because that'd be a big time match. You know what I mean? So you couldn't just send over some mid carder, right? You'd have to send over a big time name. So it obviously wouldn't be like a Roman Reigns type shit, but like, I don't know. Can you imagine if they sent CM Punk? Be like, all right, Triple H. Be like, all right, yeah. We'll send over CM Punk to you. That would be fucking hilarious. Oh my god, that'd be just terrible. But yeah, I just moving on. But yeah, I just I don't know. Let me see if I can look it up really quick. Hmm. Yeah, so yeah, so there was speculation and rumor that his contract was expiring sometime then of 2025, but it looks like his deal won't expire until well into 2026 at the earliest. And you got to think too, like he was injured and off of TV for a while, so I'm sure he has like that injury time built in or tacked on. So yeah, let's scroll through your comments really quick. But thank you guys. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate you all. If you're watching on YouTube, if you haven't already, if you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe, all that shit. I don't really say that shit, because I feel like you guys know what to do, but I guess I'm supposed to. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. And for everyone watching over on Twitter and on Twitch, I appreciate you guys too. What up, K Smith? What up? What up? Kevin, what up? What up? Oh, sigh. We have the same brain though, bro. You said they should trade Edge for Punk for a night, bro. We have the same brain. That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh, but yeah, man. Just a fantastic match. Look, if you CJ, for instance, like if you didn't watch the show, you should go back and at least watch this match because it was just so well done. And I'm very happy that they ended up doing it. There was a lot of talk that they would not end up doing AJ and Cena, and I'm just very happy that they did. So, props to both, man. Props to both guys. And it's crazy. Like I said earlier, we're down to 4 appearances left for Cena. It's crazy. But his wife was there too. Did y'all, and speaking of his wife, did y'all see the rock on her finger, bro? That shit has to be at least a mil, couple mil. Beautiful. Beautiful rock. But moving on, scrolling down here, we had Rhea Ripley, and man, after the Cena and Styles match, I was like, this shit should have been the main event because how are you gonna top this? Like the emotion and just the energy. Like how do you top that? If I was a fan, I'd have been like, yo, like I need to get up, I need to go get something to eat, like I need a drink, something like that. Like I just need to go, like it's kind of like like I don't know how you guys feel about it, but intermissions, like I don't think an intermission is that bad of an idea. Maybe if you only have 5 matches on the card, maybe you can make a case like you don't really need an intermission and just get through it. But I don't see if you're gonna have the video packages anyway, just be like, look, like a quick 10-15 minute intermission. I know you can't really do shit in 10-15 minutes, waiting in line and stuff like that. But at least you can get up, walk around, come back to your seat, and they're gonna play the video packages and the ads that they're gonna play anyway. So I don't know, just kind of build it in there. And then it just kind of gives the fans a chance to reset, kind of like halftime, in the NBA or NBA. Well, yeah, both. But I was thinking NFL more specifically. That like 15-20 minute break I enjoy it. I get up and get shit done and then come back, and it's not that big of a deal. Like if the fans are still filing back in, like it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, like we don't want to come back to live programming and have people still filing in their seats. And it's not that big of a deal. Like you already know if you've been watching the first half of the show that people are there, and if you're gonna watch the show anyway, that people are gonna make it back to their seats. So it's not that big of a deal. It happens all the time in the third quarter, specifically in the NBA. Like it's pretty visible in the NBA at times where fans are still out in the concourse getting food and shit and still making the way back in. So it's fine. And just fucking play another video package. Like, you know, then that's the point where you can play the 2 to 3 minute video package that you have for the match that is about to start. So, and then you have the entrances. So, I don't know. I think you can make it work. But my point with that is because this match, man, like I was saying earlier, like of course Rhea's a star and she got like a great reaction. No surprise there. But it just it didn't feel as big as it did last year, for instance, or as big as it could have, just because people were exhausted after that John Cena and AJ Styles match. I really feel like they should have put Cena in the main event. And again, like I know you don't necessarily want to do that when you have two champions going head to head. So there is that. But man, like it just it sucks whoever you are having to follow a match like that. So maybe the mindset was we know Rhea's gonna get a great reaction, so we trust her and trust the women here. Props to that. To kind of carry it and to not have it completely fall off. So there is that. So and again, it wasn't like a downer or dreadfully quiet or anything like that. Like nothing dramatic like that. It was just like, man, like how do you top that? And I don't know. I just felt like it didn't pack as big of a punch as it could have, and that was no fault to them. It was just people exhausted. You know, people are tired. So there's that. You're funny, so yeah. Like, can you imagine though? Like, if you're his wife and Nikki Bella comes back and oh, I mean, you trust them, right? Like you trust your partner and everything at that point, but it's just like awkward. Because the only reason, well, I'm not gonna say the only reason, but the main reason they broke up per Total Divas, right, is because Cena didn't want to have kids and Nikki Bella did. So I don't know. We can get into that, but that, you know, gotta be awkward. Gotta be awkward. But the women's match, though, I just thought it was the tag match. I thought was really good. But again, it just I felt for him. I felt for him. I was really surprised though. I was really surprised that they had Io Sky pick up the victory for their team. Just kind of expected that Rhea was going to get the victory, right? But I kind of dig the fact that Io did because that kind of plays into the story a little bit more, and they can kind of play it that Io got the victory, you know. So props to them for that. I thought it was really cool. And it just shows in like another side of Rhea, like being a good team player and being happy for her partner, you know, and she's not one of those baby faces and like one of those like top stars where it's like all about her or like she can't share the spotlight or anything like that. Like she embraces Io. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Oh, and again, a reminder that Raw will be starting early if you're here in the US, 8 a.m. Eastern time. For other people, I think it's like an early afternoon, later in the morning type shit. Just a programming note there. But moving on to the main event, we have our World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins coming out. It just, again, just absurd gear, which is just fantastic. Facing off against WWE Champion Cody Rhodes for the Men's Crown Jewel Championship. Seth is apparently a wanker, so there's that. I learned that. I don't really know how bad of a word that is. Maybe I should have looked that up prior. But there's that. They had the championship out there, the Crown Jewel Championship. Alicia Taylor doing the in-ring introductions per usual for this morning's show, not this evening's. But Seth's gear, it was really cool gear, and on the top he had like two polka dots. Obviously a callback to Dusty playing off there. Just Seth being Seth. This match, it seemed to be a little long. And again, to be honest with you, like I was just sitting there thinking, man, like I feel for them again too. Like just it's almost again like I said earlier, like I appreciate WWE not having Cena and AJ Styles be the main event because they're respecting their champions, and especially having both of your heavyweight champions in the match facing off against each other for the Crown Jewel Championship, just facing off against each other, period. Like that's in a singles match, that's a big deal. And for it to not be the main event, you'd be signaling what Cena is just bigger than all, which I guess maybe in a way, maybe technically he is, because I mean he did go after Roman as well. You know what I mean? So and it's so you can make obviously easily make a case for Cena. It's his last year, blah blah blah. Yeah, you can kind of make a case either way. I just feel like in retrospect, man, like it just sucks because if you have to follow that, it's just not a good time. And it just sucks for the fans too because you want to be you want to see the other matches that follow, but bro, like you're just exhausted too. So there's that. But again, props to WWE too for keeping the card itself at 5 matches total. I think if this was one of those shows where it had 6, 7, like even just 6 or 7 period, like I was gonna say 6, 7 plus, um, it would have been very detrimental to those matches. So I props to them for showing restraint there. um, but man, going forward, it's gonna be tough having Cena in a match and not making it the main event and having other matches follow it. The closer we get, like the countdown's on, man. I really think he's gonna be involved in War Games somehow. So I think you're kind of safe there. And of course that's gonna be the main event anyway. But I don't know. And again, I'm just really well before we wrap up with Cena, really quick. Because I meant to talk about during his match, the ticket prices are out. And well, I'm sorry, not the actual ticket prices, but they have packages, and that shit is insane. The cheapest package, I think, is the silver package, which was $700 per person. Now, I was like, man, like when you think about it, 700 isn't that crazy. Like I was thinking about it, like man, like I guess that's not that bad. You get like a pretty cool, it's like a pretty cool package, like some like memorabilia, whatever, like early entry, like little shit like that, and it includes your ticket too. I'm like okay, and it's of like upper levels. I'm like okay, like it's probably like at least like, and obviously not the floor, but like maybe one of those like rage sections. So then I pulled up the ticket. That motherfucker was a nosebleed seat. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. $700 for the package for a nosebleed seat? Nah. And I think the next package was like the gold. I think it was like 1800 or some shit. I was like, y'all have at it. And I think the most expensive one was like 8,500. And you got to meet John Cena in that one. So, okay. But God bless you guys because and again, it's not even like it's for WrestleMania. It's just for a Saturday night's main event for a 2-hour show. God knows how many video packages there's going to be. So and again, that's why like I'm still conflicted on them doing it on a Saturday night's main event. Like you're confined to 2 hours unless they do a longer show. Like I said on a previous stream, I don't know if you can do something like make it ad free for either the first or the last hour or fuck it the whole thing. That'd probably be a bit much though. So at least for the last hour. And it depends how they're going to format the show too. Is it all just going to be about Cena? Are they going to have at least like 1 or 2 other matches in the first hour and then have that whole last hour just to John Cena? Are you going to dedicate the whole show besides like just like video clips and like more video packages spliced in? I don't know. So it's going to be really cool to see what they end up doing for it. Because obviously it's a big fucking deal, right? But man, like I'm thinking the nosebleed seat sections, if the packages that they're selling for that are 700, I'm thinking the individual tickets are probably going to be probably the cheapest, like 250, 300, which is like Mania prices. Like WrestleMania 40, the nosebleed section was like $333. I think that was before fees. So fucking pricey. But the good thing about DC though is it's not that expensive, like the area itself. So there's that. But for me, like I'd probably stay in Richmond because it's only like a 2 hour drive. Like I'd probably stay with like a friend, drive up there, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. So we'll see, guys, because I really want to fucking go. Like it's crazy because like like I've never been the biggest John Cena fan, but to me, like I was a fan. I was a big fan of his, but then I got just like everyone or the majority of people when we got tired of him, we got tired of him. You know what I mean? And I wasn't like we hate John Cena. Like I wasn't like I fucking hate you. Like I booed him though, but I wasn't like fuck like fuck you Cena type shit. I was just tired of seeing him win all the time type shit. Like Super Cena was just absurd. So, but I love like the Doctor Thugonomics, like like that dude. Like I had so much of like his gear, man. Like I had the little that chain, the United States Championship, the spinner chain. I had that shit. I had so many of his t-shirts. Oh, just fantastic. But so I don't know, man. Like I just because it's one of those big moments, right? Like it's one of those moments where hopefully this is it. Like wouldn't it be some shit if and I know I said this probably on Brass Ring Media. That wouldn't it be some shit if come 2027 WrestleMania in Saudi, they pay, they want John Cena and it's a one off or, he's in a tag match. I just feel like that'd be really shitty. But, and I want to believe Cena as a person wouldn't do that. But man, if someone's throwing like fucking $10 million at you type shit, fucking maybe even more, to have a match and like you've already been over there multiple times. It's not like like any moral issue at that point. You've already gone over there. It's just or it's just like, oh well, I did that whole retirement run in 2025. I can very easily see upper management being like, it's fine, people are just gonna be so happy that you're back, blah blah blah. I will get to that point if if that does end up happening. I think that'd be kind of shitty because people are spending and are going to be spending and have already because a lot of the packages have already been purchased a lot of money, thousands and thousands of dollars to go to what we're being told is his last match. So if he does this night and he ends up coming back WrestleMania 2027 or before, that'd be pretty shitty. Even if it's just a tag match, that would be pretty shitty. So we'll see. We will see. But back to the main event match itself, though, Cody and Rollins. I love the story that they told here. I love the fact that they stood their ground on not having Division interfere and not having Paul Heyman interfere. Nothing. They had Seth go out there, and which is kind of crazy because he's the heel, right, the bad guy, but go out there and try to prove that he can beat Cody because that had been like his crutch, right? Like he can't beat Cody Rhodes, one on one, and he did, obviously, like that was the thing, like he wanted to go out there and prove, kind of like Roman was saying too, like he wanted to go out there and prove that he can do it, and that was what Heyman was saying earlier too, right? Like even if Seth, like gets to a point like we're not going out there, and they didn't. So I like that they stood their ground on that. Yes, Seth still cheated to win, but it was like it's what you expect out of a bad guy. You know what I mean? And it wasn't that he just cheated to win. Like it's not like he grabbed a chair or just hit him with the title or anything like that, or a low blow, which I can't fucking stand. He hit him with the watch that Cody gave him, that Rolex watch from WrestleMania 40. So it just played into the story even more, where Seth was just fed up, and you know what? Your time is up, bro. I'm gonna fucking hit you in the face with the watch. And it was at first I was like, oh man, like it didn't, because I kind of like missed it at first, so I had to go. I kind of, it's like one of those things where you looked away for a second and you catch something at the last very second. So like I kind of saw like right where it like came back, and I was like, did you really like hit him, like get good contact with him? And later on, like a few minutes after that, you saw like right after the match, Cody was bleeding a little bit from the inside of the mouth. So assuming it came from that punch, so props. Well done. Fucking Cody, man. Can't catch a break. Like these motherfuckers. First, Travis Scott like blows out his eardrum type shit. What was it like? Fucking messed up his ear. And Seth clocks him in the jaw, makes his like the inside of his mouth bleed. Poor Cody. Can't catch a break with his poor face. But I love that Seth won here. Again, I'm a big Cody fan, but Seth just so needed it. They're not gonna, like little things with Seth. I think they can tweak to really make him like a full on like effective bad guy. But man, like with the music, for instance, his intro being the main thing. But he really needed this victory period, and I'm happy they did it. And like I said earlier, I'm happy Triple H came out and it presented it just like he did with Stephanie. But Seth really needed a victory here. 1 second. Especially over Cody. Because Cody's QB1, right? Like Cody, it's kind of like everyone knows Cody is the guy, right? The face of the company, all this stuff. But Seth is a heavyweight champion too, and Seth is the man on Raw. So it kind of sucks, that's kind of like a shitty feeling if you're Seth. So to see him get the victory here, I thought was much needed, and not something that Cody needed. I feel like it would have just been a detriment, really, and probably done more harm than good. So very good decision in my opinion. Props to them, and it was a good match. Again, everything after Cena and AJ was gonna have the bad luck of just being after them. Period. So props to them. Props to everyone involved. And again, I thought it was a very fun match. Very fun match. I'm gonna go through your comments here really quick. Hey, Sai, I appreciate you, man. You don't have to do this, bro. Of all people, thank you, man. I appreciate you for the super chat, bro. I thank you so much. You said, appreciate all you do. I need a streamer. Ash swaps the Canada Dry for vodka and goes for 4 hours. Bro, it would be tequila for me. Because, I mean, depending on the vodka drink, but like tequila is my go-to. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll bring someone on board so I can chat with someone. Maybe we'll see if we can get like Elvis or someone on here and we can go for a stream and talk some shit. But yeah, I thank you, man. Thank you so much. You're the best. You really didn't have to do that. You said I have a theory why separate chat. I have a theory why they're having that event in DC for who they can I guess have as a guest, and it's political. The UFC have had him a few times, yeah. And we apparently at the White House will be having a UFC event next year in June. So there's that. Oh, you said you're actually in the US at the time, but I'll be watching. Oh, where are you going to be at, my friend? Okay, Smooth. Oops. Where is that? You said a Survivor Series, the next PLE, and I believe it is, my friend, because it's in November. Yeah, November 29th, yep. November 29th in San Diego will be the next PLE. And then, yeah, of course, there's Halloween Havoc as well. Oh, dude, that'd be sick, man. You said Tequila and Mania watch along. Dude, that would be sick. That would be sick. We could have, bro. I was thinking about that too. Cause I don't like this one channel that I watch completely unrelated to wrestling. He has like a call in. He has like an actual number where people can call in. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, like I can like send out like links and shit, and people can join in as guests. So maybe that's actually it's actually a fucking good idea, bro. Can have you as my main partner. That'd be dope. Bro, I can't. CJ, you're funny. You said I love 1-800 coconut tequila. Bro, I can't do coconut though. I can't stand coconut. Cannot stand it. I like coconut chapstick. That's okay, but nothing else. Like for instance, like a tropical smoothie when I get a Bahama Mama, which sounds fucking fantastic right now. I wish they weren't closed. No coconut. I just can't do it. Can't do it. But I like a pina colada, which is weird. Kate Smithy said the UFC is having a show at the White House in June for Trump's birthday. That's what it is for his birthday. Fucking Trump, bro. Golly. But guys, that was the PLE. That was the PLE of today. Let me go back to your poll. All right, so 91% thumbs up, 9% thumbs down. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, let me see. Hold on, side. Un momento, por favor. I wonder if... I'm seeing if I can... I might have to fuck around with this later on. I'm gonna make you like an official like person on here, so, like I said. But yeah, I'll fuck around with that later on. Now that I have your channel. But guys, yeah, like I was saying earlier, though, I kind of want to jump on tomorrow morning at some point and see, and just kind of talk some shit too. Maybe sometime midday-ish, like late morning, maybe like, or maybe not 10, maybe like around 11, 12-ish, kind of like late morning, midday-ish. Because I want to talk about if you guys remember the whole Rajah Jackson shit. We finally have some charges on that, and it's very interesting to me that not a lot of people are talking about it. So I'm going to talk about that. Because I don't know, I just kind of don't like how everyone hopped on the initial outrage of it, and now that we actually have some progress, it's like not a big deal. I just feel like it's kind of disrespectful. So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. We have some releases to talk about, nothing crazy, but talk about that a little bit. Maybe talk about some AEW. So maybe sometime like midday, if that's cool with you guys. Where K Smithy said midday is perfect, right on. So we'll just call it maybe like what do you guys think about noon then? I guess. What do you think about noon? K Smith, yeah. So you said, Ash, did you hear about them planning to switch things up creatively on SmackDown? Yeah, dude. We'll talk about that too, because I've heard a little bit about it. I've been traveling this week. And I haven't really I've been working out of state, so I haven't really been too, I mean, not that I'm on Twitter or social media as much, you guys know me. But even less than normal. So I'm gonna make a list here and we'll just kind of shoot the shit tomorrow, kind of how we do. But we'll talk about some things, maybe have a midday coffee type shit. I'm gonna write that down though. So yeah, so you gotta think my noon is 7 a.m. your time. Yes, no. Wait, so sorry, what time is like our noon? Like for my noon, what time is it for you then? My noon is your 7. I can't do math right now. Midday is perfect though. CJ said that should work for you. All right, guys. And we'll talk about Bailey, bro. We'll talk about Bailey. For sure. I'll write that down. I'm writing it down now for you, CJ. We'll talk about Bailey. So save and bring all of your Bailey comments, your Bailey outrage, all that tomorrow, CJ. We will chat about Bay. We will chat about some Bay. 5 p.m. All right, Si, I appreciate you, bro. Again, I appreciate you jumping in now because I know it's getting up there, and I hope you're doing okay, my friend. I hope you're feeling okay. Am I watching Bound for Glory tomorrow? What time is that coming on? And we'll talk about the Hardy Boys too. A lot. TNA apparently has a lot of talent contracts expiring at the end of this year. And I was so fucking so fucking irritated though, rather, that Bound for Glory, because it's being held in Lowell, Massachusetts, that it's literally happening right after I left Mass, bro. Fucking irritated as shit, dude. I have no idea how far away from where I was staying Lowell is, but I was just like, of course. Of all, of all the times. Like it's just like a tease. It's like, we're here, but we're not. Looks like it's at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Depending on how to stream it, yeah. Or maybe how much it is, yeah. We'll check it out. Because TNA's been doing their thing, dude. And I was actually thinking about TNA. Randomly, I was just at the airport, I was just listening to like this show or whatever. But TNA is really putting in the work, dude. And I think it was was it their president or I forget. No, I think it actually. It's crazy as it sounds. Santino Marella. He someone had made like or was doing an interview or something. And was like, all TNA really needs is the right distribution, like TV presence, really, or streaming presence, whatever that would be, to really make a good run for being a number 2 product. Maybe we can chat about that too tomorrow. I'll write that down. But shit, bro, I feel like they're not far off, dude. And it's not as crazy as it may have sounded 4 years ago, 5 years ago, especially, which is kind of sad. But bro, like TNA is that little engine that could, dude. Like TNA they just have no quit. Like I bless them for the longest time. Like I never knew like how they stayed afloat because it's like where like I don't know, man. Like God bless them. God bless them. So we will definitely talk about that. And I will see about watching Bound for Glory because I'm pretty much gonna be home tomorrow. I gotta do a little bit of like errand running, but yeah, definitely want to check that out because they've been cooking, bro. Yeah, 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. rather. Yeah, and Raw is 8 a.m. Eastern time on Monday again. So again for US time. Check accordingly. But yeah, guys, we will wrap up there. And yeah, so we'll shoot for around 12 noon. Get a little afternoon streaming in. But I appreciate you guys. Sai, again, you are fantastic. I appreciate you guys. K Smith, CJ, all you guys, Jerry. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you guys. We will be back tomorrow afternoon to talk some shit. Like I said, made a little list here. Let me see. I'll do that later. But yeah, it'll be open, of course, open chat though. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll throw it in the chat tomorrow, and whatever gets brought up, we'll talk about. But definitely want to spotlight a couple things and get into it, especially that Raja Jackson thing. Now that we got some information on that. And yeah, talk about some TNA. Maybe we'll do a little preview show for TNA too. We'll kind of incorporate that, give them some love, especially for Bound for Glory. It's a big deal. But yeah, we'll kind of plan for that and then go from there. But of course, CJ and Bailey. We'll squeeze Bailey in there at some point. But I thank you guys so much, Sai. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you all for popping in. Everyone watching on Twitter, on Twitch, I appreciate you guys as always. But until tomorrow, take care, and I will be replacing my batteries so I don't crash out on you guys midstream. But until next time, guys, take care. Next time being tomorrow. Stay safe and see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.